YouTube channel, because that'll be something that you could refer to. It'll start being some documentation for teaching you how to use the tool that we use for front matter. So go ahead and, okay, you already. So we're going to go to Project 1 and Photonics, and we're going to go to the front folder. So usually you'll see a subfolder under here called From Customer that would have generally the Word files that they want us to implement. This is a journal project, and it is pretty much a boilerplate from year to year. But I can tell that you don't have InDesign installed on your workstation. Because otherwise, oh, that's so disappointing. You know what, let's go over to Layla. So just go ahead and minimize Eve, and let's go over to Layla. Show me Layla's desktop. We'll get InDesign installed. So we're just going to double click help.indd, and it's going to open up Adobe InDesign, which is a layout program for print, actually. So it probably is used for the web now. So when you see a message like this, with InDesign, you can link to different files, and that's how you embed them. Like with Microsoft Word, when you're doing a paper and you want a picture, you know, you basically cut and paste that picture into the Word file, and the picture's there. Or what you can do is you can insert a link to it that tells that Word file where the picture is, and it goes and gets it. That's what this message is saying. We don't really care. So we're going to say, okay. And what you'll see here is I am going to, I'm just going to request the keyboard and mouse from you. Okay, so don't move your keyboard and mouse, and let me just kind of point out a few things about this workspace. So just like all your other programs, you got your toolbar up here, and you got a toolbar over here. And then you have different panels that will open up. It's similar, actually, in some respects to Photoshop, you know, how you can look at things. You can navigate pages here, and you can page forward and back, or you can go immediately to the end of the page with that one. This 5 errors thing is really just talking about links. And generally what we're doing when we're doing the front matter files is we are updating the background. Last year it was 2016, this year it's 2017. So I would come over here, highlight it, right mouse click and say relink all instances of the background. And then what I do is I tell it where the background is, and the background for Photonics is going to be in the Publish folder, is where we keep it. So now if for any reason I had to update this background, the next time I opened up InDesign, it would see that that link was not updated, and it would ask me if I wanted to update it. So what we're looking at is the help file that we use in the front matter. So we're on page 1, and generally the help file doesn't change any of the text in the content window here. All this stuff really never changes. The only thing that changes is the background that we use, and that's already been updated. So the help is actually good to go. And so I'm just going to go ahead and close help, because we actually already have help.
You would, you wouldn't need to update the 2017 to 2018?
With the journals, we're a year behind, or they're a year behind. So we're actually doing the 2017 publication. So go ahead and take control again. And now I want to go back to the folder on Project 1, and I want to open up that other InDesign file called Welcome. That one does change.
Hit OK.
Click OK. So some updating has been done in this, because it says 2017 IEEE Photonic Society, and then the background is 2017. So use your, let's go to page 2. Okay. Again, so what I'm looking at is what here needs to be updated. So the full 2017 contents, the year would be the only thing that I had to update, so that's been done.
Right. Okay.
And the copyright year is 2018.
Okay.
And that product number and IS, go ahead and go back for me. That product number and ISIN, last year it said DVD 2017, and Cher must have updated it to 2018. So when we send the prototype out to Lewis to review, he's reviewing this information as well. So if we've made an update, something's changed, he'll have to let us know.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to page 4, which is the last page. And I did see that there's actually something glaringly wrong with this. Yep. So
right
on
there.
InDesign, if you look over at your tool palette over here on the left side,
right,
you'll see that what is selected is your selection tool. Again, this is Adobe InDesign, so you're going to see some similarities between Photoshop and Adobe. So you can select your text tool, which is that one there, or if you didn't, go ahead and go back to your other tool, the one that we had, and now go into the content window here over by that text that you want to change and double click.
Right here?
Yep. And you see it changed it to the text tool for you.
Oh,
so
I did.
You can get to the text tool that way. So let's go ahead and change that to copyright is 2018. All right.
And down here as well?
Yep. Okay. All right. Now let's go back up to our selector tool. Okay. So just to kind of give you, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do a Control S to save this, and Control P, and we're going to go ahead and print it to PostScript. And all the settings here look good. So we're going to go ahead and say print. And you see it's going to come up and it's going to welcome.ps is what it's going to default to. And we just, I happen to know that we're in the Photonics publish folder, but if you went up to that drop down there that says save in and just look at it, you'll see we're in Photonics 17J. So we need to be in the publish folder, so we're going to go ahead and click save for the welcome.ps, and it's going to overwrite the one that's out there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Modified links, that's fine.
Is that okay to continue?
Yes. And Control S to save it. Okay, so a few things I want to point out with this is, if you go over to the panels that are on your right there, that links, and let me over to your right a little bit. I'm sorry, to your left a little bit. forward.tiff to and back.tiff.
Right.
So what that's saying is that if you look at that, it actually hover over it, like you did, and you kind of see where it thinks where the image is that it's supposed to be grabbing.
Right.
Let me just say this. We never worry about the forward.tiff and back.tiff links. The ones that you're in need of having updated is that background.wmf. So if we were to make any updates to that background, we'd want to come back and update our InDesign files, recreate the PostScript files so they reflect what the update is. The other thing, let's look at the page tab. Up, you were right up there. It was just right to the left of it.
Oh, right here?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So pages, we do master pages. And like if you go to master middle and double click on master middle, it'll bring up, this is the master page that when I'm doing a layout, I say to the layout, I want you to use this master middle page. So this page has the two arrows down at the bottom here. It's got all this stuff here. And the difference between that and master first is master first just has one of those arrows, and then master last has one of those arrows in the other direction. So as you're looking at the front matter, this page is using master first. These two pages are using master middle, and the last page is using master last. So and here's the cool thing about it, especially with these middle pages, because that's what you're going to be using the most on front matter, is that if I came over here to master middle, and I'm actually on the master slide, if you would, and I came over here and just said hello, okay, and then I'm not going to save this file. All the layouts that I have that are using master middle now use what I updated on master middle. So I updated this master slide, and these two reflect the update because they use that master slide. So if I wanted to change what master this use, I would say apply master to pages, and I would tell it use master first. Okay. So as you start doing more front matter layout, you'll see, especially because we use these front matter files usually year to year, like IEDM 17, we used the stuff from IEDM 16, you know, but there are some times where you have to change the color of these links, you know, so you want to go to the master page and make those changes. We also create master pages that are used for reviewers that have, basically what it has is blocking on the page. And when we get to a project where we're going to do reviewers like that, you know, it's like, I'll show you how to do that, but you create some blocking on a master page, and then you basically just import the reviewers in a way, or the content in a way that you tell the InDesign layout just to flow everything. Just put it all out there. Create as many pages as you need, but you're using this master page, you're using this blocking for it. You know, so when you're doing like reviewers that you've got 3 columns of reviewers on a page, it makes the layout of that kind of content much more rapid. So I'm not going to save welcome because I've mauled that master page, but just to kind of give you some exposure to InDesign. And Photonics is really one of the simplest ones that we have, you know, so we're just using the help and welcome. So go ahead.
All right. Now, right now, so we're just in InDesign right now. How, like, to get Photonics back, could I just say new, or not new, open, and open Photonics, or would I go into Project One and click on welcome?
Either way,
or help.
Either way, yeah. You know, if you go to open recent, go ahead and cancel out of this, or no, go ahead and cancel out of this. Go to File and open recent. Yeah, it'll show you, you know, up to 10. You know, so you can get to it that way, or you can use your open, you know, open and you get the browser window, or you were out there on Project One in the front matter folder and you double clicked on the file and it opened up the file. You know, it launched InDesign and opened up the file.
Right. What I want, when we first came in and we linked the background, you said you come over here to background and you just double click. I'm sorry, you just right mouse click, right?
Right mouse click, yeah, go ahead and do that. Relink all instances of background, go ahead. And then so look at this window here. So the title of this window is Relink, and it's got the path. So it's P Photonics Publish Background.wmf. So you know that you're in the Photonics Publish folder, and you do want background WMF, so you just
click on that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I thought that's what you had said, but I just wanted to verify that. And then, so then all we did was we came through and we just made sure that we were updating what needed to be updating. And we saw that Share did a lot of it already, the 2017.
Right. Okay. So now let's go ahead and close InDesign.
Do I have to close? Okay, we'll close it.
Well, closing it closes the file. When you exit it, you're closing InDesign.
Okay.
So we do want to exit InDesign. And we're on Layla, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what our goal here is, we want front matter ready for us to publish with. The data pretty much has been gone through. So, and Share updated it to an Access 2007 database. So we could use things like subscripts and superscripts and all that. And not have to do the text touch-up, so it'll actually publish in the e-guide. So now what I want to do is I actually want to publish an e-guide for Photonics. So that's what I'm going to take you through right now. Okay?
All right.
So go ahead and close this window here, the computer window. Yep. And on your desktop, there's a shortcut called Pub Engine there. Right mouse click on it and say Open File Location. If you ever want to get someplace where your little icon is, your shortcut is pointing to, that's the way to do it. Okay. So what we're looking at here, we've got two versions of the Pub Engine, and the difference between them is what version of Access it's using. The .ACCDB is the Access 2007. The .MDB is not. It's like Access 2000, 2003. It might even be Access 97. So we've converted, Share converted the Photonics standalone .mdb to a standalone .accdb. So that's where we're going to be using Access 2007 to publish Photonics. So what I want you to do is I want you to double click that .accdb. And it's going to open up the tool that we publish with. That security warning there, go ahead and click Options. We are going to enable it. Click OK. Okay. So this is a tool. And essentially what it does is we, quote unquote, link it to the objects and relationships tables for the conference we want to publish. So you can see over on the left there that table relationships. We already have a table relationships. I don't know who it is, you know, and we already have a table objects, a couple of entries up there. You can see the table objects. You see those?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and you're hovering over it, so you can see that it's actually IEDM 18 was the last conference that was published with this Access version of the publishing engine. Of course, we don't want to do IEDM, we want Photonic.
Okay.
So go ahead and right mouse click on the objects table object, and linked table manager is what we want. Okay, and the two tables that we're interested in is called table objects and table relationships. So find those in the list
Table.
and check them.
Even though it says IEDM?
Yep, that's what we want to do. Is I want to link them to a different database.
All right, so we got table relationships and table objects.
Right. These other things, these other linked tables to PET, the PE tables is what it is, and PE stands for Publishing Engine. So these are publishing engines. So it's things that the tool needs to actually create the output pages that we see. So there's another little checkbox there at the lower left corner saying always prompt for new location. We want to click that, and then we want to say OK. So what it's going to do, it's going to prompt us, what database do you want to link to? So we want to scroll to the Y drive. And we want to find the database for Photonics that is an ACD, ACC. Okay. What, right?
Go past it?
Yeah. Quiet. He's laying there all loungy barking. Go up and look.
Oh, there it is. Photonics for raw, embedding.
Yep, that's what I want, is the Photonics raw XML ACCD.
This one? All right. So
hold, please. Let me just take it for a second and just do this.
Yep.
Yep, that's the one we want. Okay, so go ahead and click open. So now what it's going to do is it's going to link our publishing engine. Click OK. And you can see now, if you look at table objects and table relationships, they're linked to Photonics 17 raw XML. So now we can say close.
So now, table object. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. So even though remember when I said, but even though it says IEDM that we were linking, we weren't linking. It's just going to bring us to the MDB where we could select Photonics and the tables that we did want to link, the table objects and the table relationships. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so what we've done is, so far what we've done is we updated front matter. We created the PostScript file for it. And then now what we've done is we opened the publishing engine and we've linked table objects and table relationships for the conference we want to publish. So now what I want to do is, bring up the template that we use for the Photonics. And at the top of your window here, you see add-ins. Go ahead and click on that. Sections form is what we want. And you'll see sections for template. There's a drop-down list there.
Section template.
And Photonics is in that list. Select it. And now what it's done is it's brought up all the templates from the PE table that we're using that have been configured for Photonics. Okay? So what I want you to do is you see that one welcome, go put your, highlight it and double click on it. And it brings up the details. Yeah, it brings up the details tab. You see how you went from sections to details for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see report type, it says file, and then down below it says welcome PS. That's telling this tool that when you go to publish this section, that you're going to be looking for a file, and here's the name of it, welcome PS, which we just created. And then the getting started, if you do the same thing for getting started, double click on and look at the details for getting started, you'll see that that's looking at help.ps. So now what I want you to do is now I want you to look at the details of a different section other than front matter stuff, which would be you know, the publication or issues. And for the report type, you don't see file, so we're not going to give it a file name. It actually is a report. So it uses the database, it uses, you know, it's like a template as far as, you know, where I want things laid out and that kind of stuff, you know. So my point here is that with the publishing engine, some of what it gets is from a PostScript file that you tell it, and other things that it gets are from the database. Okay? So, give me a second here. So, what we are going to do is, oops. No. All right. Let's see. The one thing about the publishing engine is that it's persnickety, you know, it's like you don't want to, you can't do other things on the system that's running a publishing engine. Okay, so so what we want to do is, let's see, I'm just going to take control for just a second here.
Okay.
If I can. And do that because I want to see this whole window. Okay, so we have just selected Photonics from, you know, we have Photonics selected. I've got, you know, table objects and relationships are for Photonics. So this little icon over here is meant to indicate that's what you use to launch the publishing engine. So go ahead and select that.
I have a question. Why does it say Photonics 2013? Next year, will that still say Photonics 2013? It's just that the template is named 2013? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right.
Okay. Acrobat Distiller 3.0 is the 01 is the printer that we have to print to. So that's the requirement.
Okay.
And click print. And it's going to print start.ps for us, and it wants to know where it should put it, and it needs to go into the publish folder for Photonics on project 1. So you navigate there. Perfect.
And save.
Yep. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to print each section. Each of these things here is a section. You can tell it's a section ID number 4248, 4249. And what it does is it creates a PostScript file for each section. After it's done doing that, it will create a file called PDF marks, because it's keeping track all along of where links need to go, where they need to be drawn in the PDF, where they need to link to in the PDF. And it uses a file called PDF marks to implement all the linking in the PDF. And then it will also output a report called suspect link log. And that is checked to make sure that it's not alerting us that we don't have an issue with the data, like a duplicate or something. Although interesting enough, if I have a duplicate session title, it doesn't, I don't think I get an alert on that. I think you just don't see it. That's why we have to check.
Right. So when the paper order comes in, you have to look to make sure there's no duplicate title sessions or session titles or tracks are the same way, right?
Exactly. It's just that you would, and you've seen that when, I forgot what conference it was, where, it's like a session was missing.
Right. Or that we renamed them with an A, B, C, or D. Just anything to kind of make it slightly different so it would print.
Yeah. So as this is going along, you see on the very bottom there of this window that says publishing abstracts to file blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
It's telling you what file it is working on. And as I'm looking at this, I can tell that the last time we published abstracts, I'm just going to take this mouse again. The last time we published abstracts, it was 1,829 pages long. So
now it's on to
authors. Now so now it's printing to authors. And the last time we did authors, it was like 182 pages. So it's already done with authors. Sometimes it's like watching grass grow. You know what? Why don't you pause the recording?